What would you do if you had some horrible incomplete memories due to partial amnesia and everyone knows your story but no one will tell you what it is? Hey everyone, this is Yusef for Video Game Plot Summaries, and I hope you gave me a side eye for that intro because today we are going to cover one of the most lazy plot devices used in one of the most classic games ever made. This is the original God of War. So we start out with a man named Kratos. He is really depressed and jumps off a cliff in Athens. As he is falling, the narrator takes us on a flashback like, but he wasn't always such a whiny wuss. He used to be a victorious warrior. In the flashback, which is the whole game by the way, Kratos is a hitman working for Greek gods. He is tormented by these horrible nightmares of his past and he doesn't know why they don't stop. So he calls out for Athena, who is the Greek goddess of a ton of things: wisdom, courage, inspiration, civilization, law and justice, strategic warfare, mathematics, strength, strategy, the arts, crafts, and skill. I told you it was a lot of things. Anyway, Kratos is like, hey yo, I've been working for y'all a decade. When are you gonna stop giving me nightmares? Athena's like, well, I have one last mission for you. And she explains that Ares, the god of war, and her brother, has decided to attack her city, the city of Athens. Athena can't fight back personally because Zeus has made it a rule that the gods cannot fight each other. So her only other option is to get Kratos to do it for her. Kratos is like, so if I kill Ares, the nightmares will quit? And Athena assures him that he will be forgiven for what he has done. So with the guarantee of closure, Kratos sets out to Athens to kill Ares and stop his nightmares. Now, when he gets there, he finds that Ares, who looks like Liam Neeson and sounds like Steve Blum, is on his Godzilla job, stomping on houses and throwing fireballs. But fortunately for Kratos, that war is super slow. Seriously. Any other battle where someone shows up with a giant 1/3 of that size, the battle is pretty much over. Ares is a one-god wrecking crew. You mean to tell me this fight is going to take longer than the game is? I don't know. Either way, Kratos can't just roll up on Ares and stab his toe, so he has to find another way. Once Kratos gets to the entrance of Athens, he is greeted by a hologram of the Oracle of Athens. She tells him she knows how to kill a god. Does she tell him right then and there? Of course not. She has to see him in person to talk to him about it. I mean, what if the government was listening in on this hologram? Anyway, as Kratos is heading to her temple, the roundabout way of course, a woman sees him and is all like, I know what you did last summer. Stay the hell away from me. And Kratos really doesn't know what the hell she is talking about, so he gives chase to ask her what's up. Then she falls off a building. Was what Kratos did worse than accidentally falling off a building? Maybe. As Kratos becomes more and more successful, the gods show him support by lending him gifts. They can't fight themselves, but there is no rules against helping. So before Kratos can go into the Oracle's temple, he runs into a brother with dreads digging a grave. The gravedigger won't give his name, but states how pleased he is with Athena's choice. But he's talking too much because he's got to finish digging the grave. For Kratos. Before Kratos leaves him, he tells Kratos that he will be there to help him when all is lost. Nice to know? Are all people in Athens this weird during a crisis? Anyway, Kratos enters the temple and finds that these half-man, half-bird things are trying to kidnap the Oracle. But once they see him, they drop her, and she catches a rope before splattering to the ground. Kratos saves her, of course, and she mind melds with him. She reveals to us that Kratos was a ruthless general in the Spartan army, but really, he was just an asshole that likes to kill people. He was just using Sparta as an excuse. The only one that would call him on his crap is his wife. That's when the Oracle pulls back, horrified. I think she saw more than we did. But was it bad enough for a woman to accidentally fall off a building? Maybe. Anyway, the Oracle informs Kratos that he needs Pandora's box to kill a god, and that is hidden in the desert. So Kratos goes out the door, across the sword bridge, down the huge spiral staircase, through the sewers, back to the entrance of the city where the Oracle hologram first appeared. Really, lady? Couldn't just let me know there's a secret entrance, huh? Anyway, this time Kratos turns left to find that the entrance to the Desert of Souls has been opened for him. He finds a statue of Athena that talks to him. Apparently that's how they communicate with each other. You know, now that I think about it, it was pretty weird to have a statue of Athena just sitting in the middle of Kratos' ship. It's like, just in case you need to talk to her, let's just put a life-size marble statue right on the front deck of this boat. Anyway, Athens tells Kratos that Pandora's box is in a temple on top of the last titan named Kronos, who roams the desert continuously. Oh, is that all? I'll be right back. So Kratos battles his way past the sirens, up to a special horn that brings Kronos right to him. He then swings up to Kronos' back to run into a jaded undead janitor. The janitor explains to Kratos that once the soldiers who enter the temple die, the Harpies bring them back to him so he can turn them into the undead army that is in the temple. He sarcastically bids Kratos good luck as he opens the entrance to the temple. There's a side story about this temple and its architect that is told on murals and in books that Kratos finds throughout the temple. The architect, Pathos Verdes III, is commanded by the gods to build the temple for Pandora's box. Given such a daunting task, he puts all his effort into building ingenious traps and starts going insane with grief. To help him out, he brings his whole family in on the project. First, his two sons die, and he uses their skulls as keys for doors in the temple. Then, when Kratos gets to the architect's office, we find out that he killed his wife for trying to make him quit the job. Then, he makes her skull into another key, finishes the job, and then kills himself. Also, right before Kratos enters the final door, there is a mural of a man battling Zeus in the future. Foreshadowing? Anyway, back to before then. While Kratos moves through the temple, he spots a harpy that was sent by Ares as a warning not to continue. Just then, Kratos has another flashback. Now, Kratos got in trouble with his arrogance and pitted his army against an army of barbarians that had way more in number. As Kratos was about to die, he called out for Ares and pledges his life to the god of war. So Ares obliges, destroys the barbarians, and gives Kratos the Blades of Chaos as proof that the contract was signed. The chains were basically burned into his skin so he could never take them off. Not even in the shower. A little further along, Kratos has another memory pop up in his head. When Kratos worked for Ares, his army was straight savage. They attacked one of Athena's villages and murdered everyone until Kratos got to Athena's temple. He had a feeling he shouldn't go in there, but then the village oracle told him it was dangerous. So he was like, "Danger? Get out of my way, Trick. I'm Kratos!" And he busts in the door and massacres everyone. Well, the last two people he massacres, they make a woman accidentally fall off a building. So Kratos gets through the temple and is now in front of Pandora's box. He puts his hands on it and Athena pops out and tells him he's gotta take it to Athens and open the box there. It's not exactly luggage at the airport. While Kratos is pushing this huge box back to Athens, Ares senses he has it and throws a huge splintered pillar from Athens, and it flies through the desert and nails Kratos right through the stomach. Never mind that when he threw it, it was the size of a Greek pillar, and when it got to Kratos, it was 1/10 of that size. Never mind that Kratos probably saw it soon enough to dodge it, especially at that size. Kratos is about to die. That's another way to get rid of those nightmares, I'll tell you that much. But Kratos' near-death experience brings back all his memories. His flashback reveals that the two people that he killed were his wife and child. That's when Ares appears and tells Kratos that now he can be the most efficient killer ever because he doesn't have a wife and kid attaching him to humanity. Which is crazy. Ares did everything except pat him on the back and give him a thumbs up. He's like, "I know what it's like to have a family that stops you from destroying everything and turning all cities to ash. It sucks so much, and I don't want that for you, Kratos. Now get out there and be somebody." So after Kratos finds out that Ares set him up to kill his family, he decides that maybe it isn't the best working relationship to have. This work environment is toxic as hell, bruh. Just as Kratos quits his job and becomes a free agent, the village oracle dooms Kratos to have the ashes of his wife and child forever stuck to his skin, giving him the appearance of a ghost. That's why people can identify him right away and they're scared poopless of him. But is he scary enough to accidentally fall off a building, though? In the present time, Ares' harpies come to claim Pandora's box as Kratos dies and makes his trip down to Hades. Side note, at the beginning of the game, there was a captain with a key that Kratos needed. He got swallowed up by a Hydra, and Kratos killed the Hydra and then heard calling for help. And Kratos went inside and the captain thought that Kratos was trying to rescue him, but really all Kratos did was snatch the key from his neck and let him fall to his death. Now, later in the game, Kratos is falling to Hades and grabs onto the same captain who is hanging off a cliff, trying not to fall into the river Styx. Kratos uses him to get up onto the cliff, and when the captain sees it's Kratos, he's like, "You again?" Damn, that guy's got the crappiest luck ever. So Kratos goes down the path of Hades hoping to find an exit out. Eventually he wanders onto a clearing in which a big stone falls down connected to a rope. And Kratos climbs up the rope through the portal to find out that it was none other than the black grave digger with dreads. He finished the grave. Kratos is astonished at the timing of this man and asks who it is, but the grave digger still doesn't answer him and sends him on his way. Now Kratos is in Athens, right where the god of war and Pandora's box is. How convenient. The gods planned for him to go to Hades to save him the long and arduous trip of pushing that damn box across the desert. So Kratos gets into the city just in time to catch Ares yelling into the heavens at his father Zeus. Ares did all of this just because his dad likes Athena more than him. That's really hella salty, for real. Ares sees Kratos and starts mocking Zeus all over his choice in champions. Just then, Kratos uses Zeus's thunder to free Pandora's box from Ares' grip. The box hits the ground, Kratos opens it up, and the magic of Pandora's box grows Kratos to the size of Ares. They start doing some real stereotypical banter. You know, Kratos is like, "It's payback time, Mickey Ficky," and Ares just claims that he is an OG and grows spider legs out of his back, which is pretty lame. And Kratos literally spent the whole game fighting all of these creative monsters. Sirens with big sharp-toothed mouths, minotaurs with big hammers, Medusas with snake tails for legs, and all Ares can do is whip out some spider legs from his back? Anyway, they fight, and right when Kratos looks like he has a chance in Hades against Ares, Ares does some sort of black hole Hadouken and pulls Kratos into a different dimension. Kratos then finds himself in a room with his wife and child and has to defend them against multiple copies of Kratos himself. Kratos fights his butt off and saves his family and exclaims to Hades that there's nothing Hades can do to take his family away. However, Kratos is pretty dumb at this moment because he knows damn well his family is already dead and Hades already took them. Doy. And then Ares gives him a speech, takes away the blades of chaos, and uses them to kill his family all over again. Now Kratos is super depressed all over again. Ares brings him back to the real dimension and starts yelling at him like he wanted Kratos to be his boyfriend or something. I always think it's weird when the villain starts yelling about how come the hero didn't choose him over someone else, especially if it's that person's family. I mean, it's Greek mythology, so maybe Ares is gay and didn't want to admit it to Kratos, and this was his roundabout way of creating a boyfriend that he would be with forever. At least at that point, the story would make a lot more sense than Ares just being a sociopath. Kratos literally had undying devotion to Ares. He really thought it would be a better allegiance if Kratos killed his wife and child? But if Ares was gay and in love with Kratos, that makes much more sense to me. Anyway, right when Ares is about to strike Kratos down, Kratos looks to the side and notices that huge sword that he had to use as a bridge after he left the village oracle's temple. Damn! I wonder how long it took for the gods to orchestrate this whole thing. I mean, Ares killing Kratos and saving him the long trip of pushing that big box, the gravedigger pulling Kratos out the moment he gets to a spot in Hades, and Kratos using Zeus's thunder to free the box right as Ares is telling Zeus off, and now this sword? Jeez, they are efficient. Okay, so now Kratos grabs the sword and fights Ares completely free of anything Ares could possibly have over him. So that's the story, and here is the ending.
Remember, Kratos, it was I who saved you in your time of greatest need.
I haven't forgotten, Ares. I remember how you saved me.
That night, I was trying to make you a great warrior.
You succeeded.
Kratos had done the impossible. A mortal defeating a god. Ares was no more. city had been saved and would thrive again. The same could not be said for Kratos, for as he sought to rebuild his soul with the help of the gods, the truth was revealed to him.
Athena, rid me of the memories that haunt me still.
You have done well, Kratos. Though we mourn the death of our brother, the gods are indebted to you. We promised your sins would be forgiven, and so they are. But we never promised to take away your nightmares. No man, no god could ever forget the terrible deeds you have done.
In the end, knowing the visions of his past would never leave him, Kratos made his way to the bluffs overlooking the Aegean Sea.
The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Now there is no hope.
And Kratos cast himself from the highest mountain in all of Greece. After 10 years of suffering, 10 years of endless nightmares, it would finally come to an end. Death would be his escape from madness. The fate of Kratos was not as it seemed. The gods had other plans. Borne aloft like a feather, Kratos found himself risen from the sea and placed on solid earth.
You will not die this day, Kratos. The gods cannot allow one who has performed such service to perish by his own hand. Ares' tactics were brutal. His path of destruction had to be stopped. But now there is an empty throne in Olympus, and a new god of war is needed. Take these stairs, Kratos. They lead to your ultimate reward.
Athena's blades. I have to say, that kind of sucks.
Your battles are at an end, Kratos. Your journey is over. Take these steps to Olympus, and your place among the gods.
This is the throne of the god of war. Take your rightful place upon it.
And from that point forward, throughout the rest of time, whenever men rode forth to battle for good cause or for evil, they did so under the watchful eye of the man who had defeated a god. They were driven forward by Kratos, the mortal who had become the new god of war.
All right, everybody. So that was the original God of War. It's very nice. Not often that I get to play a game in which I own the game outright. Like I went to the store and bought it, purchased it for full price, because I'm kind of a cheapskate. I don't want to use my money for everything, so I buy everything on the back end. But God of War 1, 2, I didn't buy 3 in time because I didn't have a PlayStation 3 then. But God of War 1 and 2, the day they came out, I was like, yeah, give me some Kratos. give me some Blades of Chaos. But anyway, yo, that story was a trip because they spread the story out so much that it's really hard to remember things that actually happened in the story as they're moving along. You know what I mean? They take Kratos being Kratos, let's be real here. It seems like Kratos is an amnesiac from his own design. Like, he killed his family and he just worked in servitude of the gods, not working with Ares, and he spent this whole time trying to forget that he killed his wife and child, and he can't forget because he's got all these crazy ass nightmares, right? I mean, that has nothing to do with the gods. I mean, if you killed your own family and didn't have nightmares for the rest of your life, yo, then you're an asshole, you know? I mean, even Kratos, a guy who kills people for fun, he's stabbing people, he just loves the bloodshed, he feels the splatters on his face. Even he gets nightmares if he accidentally kills his wife and child. You know what I mean? He's at least got a conscience. Well, he does kind of sort of have a conscience, but then trying to act like he didn't kill his family, which is a little gangsta, you know? So now he's an amnesiac, and he doesn't want to remember shit. So he's willing to go all the way to Athens to kill a god so that he can forget the fact that he killed his family, even though he's got the ashes of them spread out all over his skin? I don't know, dog. That's going a little too far, you know. And then when you found out that the gods weren't pressuring him, that it was just his own, you know, his own heart that was broken, and he's not gonna come back from that. He's all like, maybe life isn't worth living. Like, dude, man, you were about to, you killed a god, man. The hell is your problem? Oh, if I can't bring my wife and child back, it ain't worth it. Like, yeah, no, you're right. But you know, you kind of fucked up though. like killing yourself. I mean, you already been to hell and back, like literally, right? You already been to Hades and back. What's the point? You fall back down to death in the Hades place. They're just gonna use you some more. I mean, you're too much of a stone cold killer to let go. They never let people out that easy. You know what I'm saying? Should have known that. His half of his life is being used by gods. I mean, more than Pathos Verdes the Third. You know what I'm saying? That dude, his life got used. They bestowed an honor upon him and took his life and the life of his whole family. Kratos, lucky to still have his own life just because he's such a badass killer, you know? That's crazy to me. Oh, I think I'm gonna kill myself. Dude, I understand your shell shock has much more to do with accidentally killing your wife and child and not so much about killing everybody else that crosses your path. But I mean, come on, dog. You're fucking with gods, and you've just proven yourself to be a killer of the highest degree. You think they're just gonna let you float along, you know? All right, have a good day now. You know, shit. It's messed up because Athena told him he had one last job, and how true is that? And she flipped it on. Oh, it's now that you have done that job for me, I got one last job. Oh man, I hope it's quick. Yeah, it's quick. You are the god of war forever in eternity. Shit. What else was he gonna do, right? Even if he went to Hades, it's like, you're a killer, man. What is he gonna do? Just hide around with a cloak and shit, waiting for stuff to pop off? Somebody knocks over his beer and he's like, you shouldn't have done that. He's just gonna raise up and kill everybody in the bar o' Hades. I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's crazy. You ain't got a choice, bruh. You gonna be a killer for the rest of your life, and you should just learn to love it. Maybe Ares was right, you know? Maybe him being single was the way to go. It's like, you can't be awesome with a family, man. It's just, I mean, a lot of people fight harder because they love their family so much they have to protect them. But if you're a badass like Kratos, there is no upper level of badass, okay? You're gonna protect, you know, you're gonna protect Ares, and that's it. I was jealous because you was stupping your wife and you weren't stupping me. You weren't pounding me in my Ares booty. You weren't lifting up my little Greek skirt and grabbing me by the sandals and giving me a righteous doggy style for the god of war. Can't the god of war groom any killer warriors to screw him later at night? I'm lonely too. War makes me want to have sex. Anyway, let me get out of here. It's so silly. You guys, thank you very much for yeah, I feel like I can go a little harder with I guess the comedy or whatever, since it's God of War. I mean, the video game has boobies right in your face, so whatever. That's why I'm surprised that Ares didn't go, I just wanted you to yank on my sword. Like, I wanted you to dull my blade. Anyway, you guys have fun, and the next God of War game that I'm going to talk about on this channel is the God of War Ascension. So I think it's the next logical progression, since it handles how Ares learned how to, or how Ares manipulated Kratos to kill his family. So that's a nice little plot hole left in this game, and I'll be glad to cover it in the next God of War video game plot summary. So until then, see you guys. Have fun and don't let any gay gods ruin your family. I guess. Peace.